Okay, Zatima fans, this episode, it had its good parts, but unfortunately, I am going to have to score it lower than the last one. Possibly the lowest Zatima score I will ever give. Hopefully it is, but I will give it a 4 out of 10. It hurts to say it, okay? It really does. For the most part, I think that I did enjoy episodes 5 and 6 more than last week's episode, but I think this episode truly brings down this week's because a majority of it was Zach and Fatima doing the same two-step as Sistas Season 5. And I said it before, I think Sistas Season 5 and what Tyler did with Zach and Fatima ruined the viewing experience of Zatima Season 2. Now, Too Close to Comfort, Season 2, Episode 6, 4 out of 10, unfortunately. Now, believe it or not, and I think I may have mentioned this in my episode 5 review, but I was more interested in Angela's storyline than Zach and Fatima's dynamic in these episodes. I really was. Because while Zach and Fatima were going at it, Angela's out here thirsty, drunk as a skunk, but living her best life. And I can't be mad at her for it. But make sure you take a moment to hit the thumbs up button to show you like the video. Hit subscribe because we're closing in on 250,000 subscribers. We're also very close to, I think the last time I checked, we are 9,000 views away from 65 million views on the channel, which is cool because that means we're getting closer to 70 million and by extension 100 million. So, what do we got here? Sean pulls up to Angela's house, and Fatima doesn't want Sean to go into Angela's house because Sean's like, hey, Fatima, right? Can I drop you off first? But Fatima's like, she don't know you, and she's looking out for a girl. I can't be mad at her. So basically, Angela is, supposed to be dropped off first, and Angela, she's just, she obviously had a lot to drink because she's drunk as hell, but she's still thirsty as if she was going through the Sahara Desert. But she's like, Sean, right? Oh, wait, his name is Sheen, right? No, it's Sean. Oh, okay. Sean, do you like dick? My own? No, do you like other man's dick? No. Because, she's obviously still distraught over the Bryce situation. But this woman gets out of the car. And when I tell you, I was laughing my ass off when she proceeds to open her door because Fatima gets out to make sure she gets in okay. Fatima looks as Angela gets into her house and this fool falls down and the door closes. I had to pause the episode and laugh for a good 3 minutes. It was hilarious. So Fatima doesn't want to ride from Sean, but I guess because her feet hurt from those heels she wore, she opted, you know what, just drive me around the corner. But a couple of things, remember, I'm sober and I'm carrying a gun. Okay, yes ma'am. So she gets dropped off. Now, the moment she gets dropped off, she sees Zach coming out of Deja's apartment, and he currently has a hard one. And then we actually see them in bed. Now, there is a moment we need to talk about. Unfortunately, a few things. Number one, we never see the photo that Deja's friend who works at Club Eden sent to her, and she sent it to Zach. But I guess we are to assume it is Sean and Fatima, when in reality we know for a fact Sean was really feeling Angela. Fatima just happened to be there. Some time has obviously passed because of the fact Deja is, in her towel and whatnot, or in a robe or whatever, and she's on the couch with Zach, and I'm thinking to myself, Zach, what the hell are you doing? How long you've been sitting there? Because remember, in these shows, sometimes events happen at the same time. Like, obviously, we saw Zach go over there to help out with the tub, and this was after Sean, Angela, and Fatima were about to leave Club Eden. So, I mean, what's the distance between the club and, Zach and Fatima's house? Well, think about it this way. First, they went to Angela's house, and then, she got dropped off. So I don't know how much time has passed, but obviously too much time. What the heck did he do this for? Just leave. But no. Deja is still pressing up on Zach, and he makes it clear once and for all. The reason I even came over here because look, you need to stop with the antics. You need to leave my girl alone. You need to stop calling her out of her name. Basically saying all the things that the Fatima fans wanted Zach to tell Karen in season 5. So basically, I even tweeted this out, and it's probably one of my biggest tweets from this morning when I talked about the episode. And here's my thing about this. Here's my thing about this. I think it was very sweet and commendable for Zach to defend Fatima. Basically make it so Deja puts respect on her name, to respect their relationship. However, he keeps putting himself in these compromising positions by going over to Deja's apartment late at night over this complete bullshit. I mean, he even went so far as to say, look, I came over here to tell you once and for all to leave me and my, fiance alone. And he even says, I'm trying my hardest not to fuck you right now, which lets me know, and this is my interpretation of it, he's playing with fire. He wanted to go over there. He just doesn't want to get burned. So while I applaud Zach for putting his foot down despite everything Deja was trying to throw at him, he even's like, look, you need to stop with the injury thing. I don't see you. Look, that neck thing, you don't have none of that equipment on. Your neck brace, your arm brace. Well, my doctor's note says my back is messed up and your girl did it. Ain't nothing wrong with your back. This is fake. See, this would have worked if Deja was like, have sex with me or I'm going to sue your girlfriend, even though she knows that that's his fiance, but whatever. Like, that would have been more, okay, yeah, this is, you don't feel remorseful for Deja. You see Zach is in a truly compromising position, but he's just going over there to entertain her. That's the thing. She's the kind of person who clearly is doing all this for attention. Also, a very interesting thing to note about Deja, when Zach is like, look, I got Fatima. I don't want to be with you. What do you mean be? I don't want to be with you, Zach. I want you to give me some dick. And I'm like, damn, Deja. I mean, I shouldn't be surprised by this, but I think it's a shame. Like, you just want a one and done, possibly even more, maybe friends with benefit thing with Zach. I mean, but you don't want to be with him? I mean, obviously she's not a one-man dude. And, as Zach was getting up to leave, she's like, fine then. I want somebody that wants me back. And I'm thinking to myself, I volunteer. But then again, the fact that the whole Deja daddy thing, I couldn't be with somebody who's with multiple men. So I don't know. Maybe Deja isn't as appealing to me as I originally thought. But then she smiled, and I'm like, you know what, Jeremy, what the fuck you talking about? You want to hit that. All right, so in any case, yeah, I applaud Zach, but this was really stupid of him to do it. So later on, and keep in mind, even though Fatima sees Zach coming out of Deja's place hard, kind of like Priscilla did with Sam coming out of the residency in the White House, Zach sees Fatima getting dropped off by some dude that he doesn't even know. So they're in bed, and this is when the episode just lost me, because I'm like, good Lord. This scene just demonstrated everything wrong with Fatima in Sistas season 5. And you all know how I felt about Fatima, oh Lord, in season 5. Now, I'll probably do a separate video talking about the conversation, but at the core, it's Fatima just going in on Zach based on the events of the day. Now, I'm not trying to shame Fatima. I swear I'm not. But wasn't it in the haves and the have-nots when Hannah and Derek, were in bed together one night, and, it was mentioned like Hannah wearing grandma muumuus and whatnot. You had Fatima rocking the bonnet and the and the nightgown to bed. Look, I think Fatima is very beautiful regardless. And, growing up with like grandmas who wore that kind of stuff, it is what it is. It wouldn't throw me off. Like, let's say if I was dating someone and she wore one of those to bed, I'd be like, what? I haven't seen one of those since, but at the same time, if she wants to feel comfortable, not every night is going to be sex night. And I'm okay with that. But at the same time, I was laughing because Zach and later Sean was joking about it. So again, I am not bonnet, gown / moo shaming. I am not. I am saying I did laugh when it was addressed by the other characters. And Fatima mentions that apparently her mom had that in the care package, and it's like, yeah, well, she won't have to worry about having grandkids anytime soon if she keeps sending you stuff like that. I thought that was funny. Then I think Fatima even put like a little pillow between them in the bed. And look, I've been single for so long, and I don't really, I've never had a girlfriend in my adult life, you know. So, you know, what was that girl from high school? But that was 10th grade. So I don't really know what the expectations are for like arguments and whatnot in a relationship. But personally, I don't want to go to bed angry with my girlfriend, fiance, wife, whoever, you know, that woman in my life would be at the time. But I also understand that sometimes you need to sit on something, that if you talk when you're really in your feelings, you could say some hurtful shit. Sometimes, like Fatima, you need to let things sit and process. But at the same time, you can't be like, well, when I want to speak about something, we need to do it right now. But when you need to speak about something, I need to process it. But I think there needs to be an open level of, there needs to be a level of openness and compromise. Like, baby, I know you're mad at me right now, but could you please explain why, and not in an angry way, like, tell me what I did wrong. Or if I'm upset at you, look, you know, you really hurt me when you said this, when you did that, but I don't want to talk about it right now because I'm not really at the place where I can process it. So we'll talk about it later in the night or something like that. So I understand we're not always going to go to bed in the best of moods with each other, but I do think that there's a level of pettiness. And I mean, Fatima showcased this in season 1 where she or was it Sisters season 1, or is it Zatima, where she she's like, well, fine, since you mad, could you pass me the lotion? And she smacks it off the nightstand. It's like, you're petty, you're fucking petty. So I think with Fatima here, we get just full blown Karen, no accountability, putting it all on Zach. You're not ready for a relationship. The way you acted, look, the way you acted today with Paul in the elevator, like, he was trying to be nice. And I'm thinking, on the one hand, was Paul trying to be nice and cordial with Zach? Yes. And in the parking garage. But at the same time, Fatima's defending him almost like Zach does with Deja. But with Deja, the difference is, and I'm not trying to take sides. No, you never shit on Zach the way you talk trash about Fatima, because Tyler has assassinated her fucking character for a whole season of Sisters and into Zatima season 2. So there are many things negative about Fatima that I can't say about Zach yet. Or let me put it this way. Zach and Fatima have both done foul, but the way Tyler has written, excuse me, my voice went out there. That's God telling you you're wrong about Fatima. Shut up. Okay. Basically, when it comes down to it, Zach and Fatima both do foul, but I think the way Tyler Perry has written her character for like the past season of Sisters and into Zatima season 2, it's the fact that there is no accountability from her part. She even goes so far as to say, I'm waiting for you to apologize. For what? For how you acted today. Wow, Fatima. What about when you learned from Karen herself that she was the one that hugged and kissed Zach, and that the photo didn't tell the story that Angela told you that it said? You never apologized to Zach. You never acknowledged that you spoke crazy to him. Shut up. Just shut up. Now, Zach was foul for how he acted. Also, Fatima, you were on that elevator alone with Hall before Zach came in. You know this dude is feeling you. You know this guy is bigging himself up by trying to make himself sound way better than Zach as a, romantic partner for you. So for you to be like, he was just acting nice, you're defending him, just like, you know, how Zach defends Deja. But like I said, do I think Zach went too far in that elevator? Abso-freaking-lutely. It's like, oh yeah, you don't want to talk about Paul because the way he hemmed you up, huh? Yeah, well, I almost broke his fucking jaw. Well, Zach, that's nothing to be proud of. That was kind of a bitch move. The dude, it was literally, and I hate to say it, you literally pulled a Will Smith. Well, Jeremy, Paul hemmed up Zach first. Yeah, but the thing is, Zach had at that point repeatedly said, I'm going to whoop your ass. And then when Paul like kind of stepped forward just to kind of like, look, hey, Zach, here's what happened. Zach stepped to him like he was about to do something. Now, did Paul do a bit too much? Maybe, but he did. If based on the scene, I would have to say that Paul was more. I could defend Paul a little bit more in terms of him pushing Zach up against the wall compared to when Zach headbutted him. Because dude had his hands extended out like, look, my name's Paul. 6 out his hand to shake it. This dude sucker headbutts him and leaves him on the floor. Yeah, Paul is trash for trying to make a move on his woman. But at the same time, Zach was just so irrational, it was dumb. So from there, she goes on to say the Deja thing. You know, you come out of that girl, go back to that girl's apartment. You don't mean that. You don't mean that. Because if you don't even think I slept, if you came out of her apartment with a hard on. Yeah, I was hard because if I would have had sex with her, I would be soft. And you don't believe I slept with her because if you did, you'd be shooting up things. No, you know I wouldn't. Fatima. What about when Belinda was chasing Zach upstairs? You pulled out the gun and shot at her. Stop lying. So yeah, Zach rightfully calls her out. It's like, well, you're not ready for a relationship. Look, you haven't been the same since you seen your mom. Don't bring that up. And she does make a good point. You have been angry ever since you went to see your mom. And from there, it just turns into a whole, you're not ready for a relationship. In this, that, and the third. And as Zach said, no accountability. And look, you know what? Tomorrow, I'm going to call the movers to take my stuff out. Fatima's freaking problem. She is Karen. The only difference, you know good and hell well, if Zach didn't have any money and he was still on the couch at her apartment, or not on her couch, but still staying at her apartment. At this point in the relationship, she would have kicked him out. For as many times as she's claimed that she would move out, she would have kicked Zach out of the apartment just like Karen did. The only difference, this is Zach's house that he lives in and he pays for. That's why she can't kick him out. The most she can do is like put him on the couch. Like even Zach said, you know what? I'm going to sleep on the couch. No. I'll do you one better. I'll leave. Because, you know, you make it feel like it's your house. You know, remember? It's not like like you always keep saying. How many times has Zach said, this is my house? You said that more than he has ever. You said, it's my house. Or, you know, oh, so it's your house now. And Zach never says that. So she decides to get up and she goes. Where does she go? We know she goes over to Angela's. And I'm just sitting here like, Fatima, this is some bullshit. And it's like, I'm glad Zach didn't run to chase after her. She decided to get up and go. And she's like, oh, there you go. You're running again. I'm not running. And like you said, well, what do you call it then? Because when I process things and I think to myself, Fatima, what are you doing? That's when I start to think and I see things clearly. Fatima, if you're feeling froggy, then leap. It's stupid that they're still doing this. So she goes over to Angela's and, you know, Angela's getting her thing on. She getting her swerve on with Sean on the couch. And the funny thing is, Fatima just stands there awkwardly for like 5 minutes going, and then she goes upstairs. And Sean's like, wait, is that your roommate? No, that's not my roommate. That's Fatima. Huh? Fatima, the one at the club. She goes to bed like that? Damn. And then Angela's like, boy, shut up and keep going. Yeah, okay, I need to go upstairs to... And then she's having a good time. So then we go over to the next morning. Zach's in the kitchen. He's determined not to, you know, cave in and call Fatima. Good for him. Tony actually goes to wake up Nathan. And it turns out this is Tony's house or apartment. And Nathan and Lori are still on the rocks. I thought they were cool, but no. Lori doesn't want to talk to him. So Nathan's crashing on Tony's couch until, you know, he's able to figure things out with his wife. And we have a good moment of care. Look, if I were ranking this or if I was scoring this episode based on all the other characters aside from Zach and Fatima, I would probably give it a solid 8 out of 10. But the Zach and Fatima stuff, because it's their show, takes up so much time, it does bring the episode down a bit for me. But regardless, Nathan has a moment of maturity that Tony calls out and applauds him for because, you know, Tony's like, well, what are you mad about Lori not talking to you for, man? You out here trying to live your best life and, you know, you wanted to get the divorce. Nah, I don't know about all that, man, because, she will murder me with child support. We got 2 kids, but he wants to do better, and I applaud him for that. And I do hope that we get more scenes like this where we see, some sort of reconciliation or Nathan coming to grips with having to do better in order to live better, not just for him, but for his wife and his kids. So that's pretty cool. Now he's on his phone, apparently a dating app, get you some ass now, and he sees a profile for Fatima. Now, we really don't go too far into this, but this is clearly set up for the next episode. So Zach actually calls, Nathan actually calls Zach about this Fatima dating profile because it's currently saying that she's located on Condor Street, which could be the location of Angela's place. I don't know. So Tony thinks that it's fake though. He tells Zach about it and he sends a picture. And Zach looks at it and he's like, wait, what is this? So back over at Angela's place, she told Fatima that she wore Sean all the way out. He's going to be doing the walk of shame instead of her. So, she asked Fatima to talk to Bryce for her, even though Fatima's like, look, I think you need to talk to him. No, Fatima, can you please do it? All right, I didn't like this. I think, the way Angela inserts herself into the relationship of Zach and Fatima based on the stuff that Fatima tells her, I think that it would be best. Angela is a full-grown adult. She can talk to this man like, and a mature adult instead of just ghosting him. So Angela does warn Fatima not to tell Fatima, Angela warns Fatima not to refer Zach to that specific therapist, Dr. Reed, because if he finds out Paul was the one that referred, this therapist, it's going to blow up in her face. And you can tell Fatima does want to make things work with Zach, but obviously recognizes that he does need to talk with somebody. But from there, Sean comes down the stairs. He's like, hey, all right, well, nice seeing you. I'll talk to y'all later. Angela, I'll call you later. We'll see. And then as soon as he goes out of the door, Bryce is right there. Fatima gets up and is like, you know what, Angel, I'll let you handle that. Sean, you were leaving, so they both leave. And Bryce is pissed off. So here we go with Bryce, because Angela's avoiding him, not talking to him. And remember, she did say she was going to call him yesterday. And he's like, fine, if you don't, I'm going to come over. And he's come over. But basically, he doesn't understand why she's acting the way that she is. And she's like, don't play them games. Like, you know why. How about this? How about we have dinner with Zach and Fatima? We'll all sit down and we'll talk about this. Okay, fine. And it's like, well, what about that guy? No, you don't get to ask me those questions. Oh, it's like that? Yeah, it's like that. Fine. So then he leaves. So Fatima gets back home and she calls Dr. Reed to schedule an appointment for later in the day. Now she says she'll come for an appointment, but I don't know if that also includes Zach, but we'll just have to wait and see. But then she calls Angela and asks about the Bryce situation, but also the fact that she called the therapist. And she mentions the whole Bryce thing. Well, can we have dinner with you and Zach? And it's like, I need you to talk because I need you there with me. And I think we need to get this all straightened out. On the one hand, I'm mad at Angela for yet again not being able to do this by herself. But on the other, it does involve if Zach and Bryce weren't in a company together that they started, I would say screw it, Angela, do this yourself. But it would be good to clear the air to get all this stuff straightened out. So on the one hand, yeah, this whole dinner thing would be cool. But it has to be Saturday, right? Because Fatima mentions, ooh, yeah, well, I got to cancel dinner with my parents. And it's like, your mama, Fatima, you better not do that. So I'm guessing it's Saturday. Her mom said dinner Saturday. And Fatima mentions that dinner with her parents is tonight. So she can't have that dinner with Bryce and Angela, even though it does seem to, it's almost implied that they're going to have dinner together that night earlier. I'm very confused about the placement of time, but the episode ends when Fatima hears some groaning from upstairs. Angela hangs up the phone and she gets up there. Zach, I know you ain't. And he's playing with that, sex side chick. So that's the end of the episode. So yeah, 4 out of 10 because the Zach and Fatima stuff really didn't do it for me. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.